Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the Waterboro Planning Board to order for September 16th at 7:02 p.m. Earlier this evening, we had a site walk at the Brooks Dance Center, Route 202 and 4, East Waterboro. Members of the board, besides myself, were there. The applicant was there also. Yeah. Okay. We're going to start off. We have two public hearings tonight at 7 p.m. The first one on the order is our municipal salt and sand shed, followed by the public hearing for Brooks Dance Center. We'll start off with the municipal salt and sand shed.
Good evening. Is this
thing on?
Is it on? Is it all set?
Yep,
okay.
all set.
All right. Good evening. My name is Owens McCullough, a civil engineer with Sebago Technics, here tonight on behalf of the town of Waterboro. I was before the board back in, I think, the first part of August, and we had a site walk at that time, initial planning board meeting, some good discussions, some things that were asked of us to follow up on. And then tonight's also the public hearing. So would the board like me to do just a brief overview of the project for the public hearing? I see we're on for more discussion later on. I could get more of the details later on if you would prefer.
Go. So if there is anybody from the public that's here for it.
Okay. So the town of Waterboro has a public works facility out at the transfer station site. The Public Works facility, actually, can I take the mic and wherever that is? Thank you. So the town currently operates a transfer station down at the end of Bennett Hill Road. Across from the transfer station is the current town's sand and salt storage area and Public Works building. The town has not historically had a sand and salt storage shed. It went up for referendum this past year, was approved, and now the town would like to build a new sand and salt shed. It's 80 by 140 feet. It's a laminated arch building similar to what you might see that the Department of Transportation constructs. The primary purpose of this is obvious, to get the sand and salt that is been stored and stockpiled outside for many, many years and put it under cover. Salt is something that the state has concerns about for contamination. They're trying to push to get sand and salt piles out of the weather and under cover, which is what we're trying to do. There's a secondary benefit to this project. Years ago, the town had two tannery lagoons, or there were two lagoons that operated from an old tanning facility in town. Most of you probably know the history better than I do, but we've gone through a process with the Department of Environmental Protection. A company called Ransom Environmental was hired by the DEP, went out and evaluated the property, issued a very large report, which I provided to the town. And basically, they've agreed that we can close out these tannery lagoons, one of them by putting the sand and salt building over top of it, basically capping it. So right now these pits were open, and rain, water, and snow and precipitation would go into it and get into the groundwater. So that's the secondary benefit of the project. The sand and salt shed, if we're approved, we would go out and seek prices for it and construct it as soon as possible. With winter coming, I guess it would be up to Doug Sr. as to whether we would go forward this fall with it, which I think would be the plan. The sooner we can get sand and salt under cover, I think the better it is. I have a lot more items, but I think if it's appropriate, we'll talk about those at the other portion of it.
Yeah, you schedule one.
Okay, thank you.
At this time, I'd like to open up to the public. If there's anybody from here from the public that has comments about the sand salt shed, I'm going to take that as a no. Okay. Hearing no comments from the public, we'll close the sand and salt shed public hearing at 7:07. As mentioned, to be back on the agenda right after we do our next public hearing, which is Abbott Investments, Brooks Dance Center, Route 2024, East Waterboro, tax map 4, lot 30A.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you this evening?
Good.
You missed our sidewalk earlier.
I was almost
Nice,
there.
nice, nice and out
That
there.
was one state away.
Yeah, the bugs started coming out, so you missed that. So, Rob McSorley with Spago Technics, representing the applicant relative to Brooks Dance Center. Project that was previously before this board back around 2008, 2009. It was originally intended to be a cabinetry business. That project did not go forth because of the economic situation at that time. Since then, come back now, this is going to be a relocation of the Brooks Dance Center. It currently resides in Waterboro. 6,000 square foot building on the site, of course, that was previously proposed for construction. And per our sidewalk out there, you saw most of the area that was to be used for that project, and the parking and the building areas had already been cleared and stabilized and whatnot. This project did require us to submit into a Maine Department of Environmental Protection for a permit for grading within the 75 feet of the resource or the stream that's in the back of the property. One of the things the DEP had requested that we do was to stake out the boundary of the wetland right adjacent to where we would be working. We've done that during the sidewalk. Members were able to see the flagging, and down below the flagging was the pins with red caps that indicate the limits of the wetland. We're only proposing to be slightly within that 75 feet for grading purposes on the backside of the building, and then the backside of the berm on the water detention facility. We also applied for a stormwater permit. That was signed off about 30 days ago, and it's been going through the 30-day public review process or comment where they have to hold it to see if they get any response back from the public on the project. As we discussed out there, the project will have some low-key site lighting. It's intended that there be bollard lighting along the walkway instead of your high up cutoff fixtures. We'll have bollard lighting that will light down onto the pathways, and then we'll have what's called wall packs on the building, which will be also cutoff fixtures that will shine down. The project will be served by public water, and there's a septic system proposed on the site. There were previously 3 waiver requests that we had discussed before. My memory serves me correct, was the hydrological study, the nitrate study, because of the flows were so little.
And has waste.
The third one?
Has waste.
Huh?
Has waste.
Yep, yeah, it hazardous waste, because the only thing we'll have there is the cleaning products for the building. And with that, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay, I'd like to open it up to the public. Okay, nobody from the public?
The only thing I want to say
Just give you, mind if you state your name? I'm sorry.
is Gerard Bergeron.
Okay. Could you get that? Could you go up to the microphone? I'm sorry.
Gerard Bergeron.
Okay.
And I don't have a problem, I'm just curious. I own the property that Mike Hammond used to own across the street. And I'm just wondering why it doesn't show that I own it. Do I have to do something?
It should be based off of the tax records from within the last 30 days.
Yeah, usually I think this plan was put together prior to the last 30 days, which is when the commitment would have occurred for the taxes in town here. Many times when development proposals come forward, you'll see that the abutters are named as now or formerly NF. So it would suggest now or formerly owned by, and these plans would probably suggest that that property was formerly owned by.
Did you get a butters notice?
No.
Okay.
Hang on, what's your name?
Gerard Bergeron?
Hang on. Did you say you were in Mr. Hammond's? It's Mr. Hammond's property?
That we purchased, yes.
That hasn't gone through yet. It still shows as monies on the town records.
Yeah, there was-
I came because I'm wondering, do I have to do something?
Send him the tax bill.
There was a, Mr. Bergeron, there was a certified letter mailed on August 25th sent to Michael Hammond in care of Nellie and Gerard Bergeron, P.O. Box 486, Waterboro 04087.
I don't have
And it was not, no one picked it up. So,
I don't have a people.
yeah, that's the address that was on file at the time.
Okay.
So,
And It's probably because of the commitment for taxes weren't locked in for this coming year, so the information was last year's information.
Do you have questions about it?
Do you have any questions on the property or?
You mean across the street?
Yeah.
On this
For
project?
this project?
No, I really don't know what's going on, but no.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Also at your desk this evening, you did receive a letter from the Calvert family,
Yes.
who raised some concerns as well, so you ought to
I'll
at
read.
least acknowledge that and
I'll actually read that. This is to the Waterboro Planning Board regarding Brooks Dance Studio. Dear Chairman and members of the Waterboro Planning Board, my family and I have like to raise some concerns regarding the proposed building that will be constructed that we have bought on map 4, lot 30A. We have lived on our property more than 27 years, first renting and then owning. We have enjoyed the location. We spend a lot of time outside and on our front porch. The nighttime sky is absolutely beautiful and relaxing. We recently watched the Perseid meteor shower from our front yard, and on occasion we can see the distant aurora borealis from our bedroom windows on the second floor of our home. Studying this proposal, the parking lot, building, and signs will most likely have bright lights that will not only take away from our peaceful sky viewing, but also shine into our windows. Another inconvenience is the entrance to the property is exactly across the street from our driveway, so the cars will have their light shining into our windows and rooms as well, as they are exiting the parking lot. Also, the appearance of the building did not sound like it's going to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye and could affect surrounding residential long-term property values. We do not see our quality of life and our privacy decreased. We do not want to see our quality of life and our privacy decreased or eliminated due to lighting, headlights in our windows, or in an unappealing metal structure across the street from us. We realize this application is presently for a part-time use facility, but is the long-term use of the building and the property that I cannot help to think about, and you cannot easily undo things once they get rolling. We all look forward to enjoying our property with the next generations of kids and families. Please take these concerns into consideration. Thank you for listening. The Calvert family, 632 Main Street, map 4, lots 48F and C. And then it was emailed on September 15th to the planning board at waterboromaine.gov. Okay. No other concerns from the public? Then I will close the Brooks Dance Center public hearing at 7:15 and move on to our first agenda item, which is Lacey Wakefield, map 2, lot 4 and 5, daycare at 1410 Goodwin's Mills Road. Okay. So if you want to just give your introduction and then basically what you're doing, and then...
My name is Lacey Wakefield, and I wanted to open an in-home daycare at 1410 Goodwin's Mills Road. It would just be 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. with a total of up to 12 kids. I sent in like the picture of our property and our driveway and our backyard and where we were asked to put up fencing by the state because they came and did a visit and decided where they would like fencing and things they would need to approve it. So.
Okay. We do have a note from the Code Enforcement Officer for the town. It does say, this address is located in the Agricultural Residential District, Section 3.06. The land use is allowed per subsection 3.06.02 is a conditional use number 2 daycare facility. All facilities shall be required to construct a fence that the planning board deems suitable to enclose the outdoor activity area of the facility. The fence shall be a minimum of 4 feet in height. And then he goes on to say, "Have not visited his site to check for compliance with an FPA 101, Chapter 16. A visit is required prior to startup, and the facility must meet the requirements for Chapter 16. Applicant shall also comply with the main requirements as it relates to daycares. A copy of the daycare license shall be forwarded to the code enforcement officer initially and subsequent renewals. Regards, Glenn Charette, CDO." So,
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, I have copies for your butters notices for Lacey.
okay.
Thanks, Lacey.
So the butters, have they been notified?
They have been
Yeah.
notified.
Okay.
Also, Mr. Chairman, this is a conditional use permit, not a site plan review. You have received my memo, which is incomplete at this time, and only suggests that from the standpoint of conditional use permit, that you could find the application could find it complete, so that you could set a public hearing, a site walk and a public hearing, if you chose to do that, and then you'd receive any additional comments from me on the project.
Okay. I guess, just a clearing from our point of view, for daycares, we've never done sidewalks and public hearings.
And that's fine, you don't have to, there's nothing that says you're required to. It's only if you chose to do so. Certainly, we can get into the merits of the application at the next meeting, but, I mean, they do provide quite a large parking area with parking turnaround for safety for kids, and I would get into that with my memo for you. They're gonna be required by Department of Human Services to have certain fencing requirements for keep children in and the like. So you're not required to do a site visit. That's only at your choosing. It's also, again, a conditional use. At this time, the way the ordinance is structured, you're not required to hold a public hearing. You can choose to hold a public hearing if you feel it's necessary.
May I ask a question, Lee J?
Yeah.
Subsection 3.06 is about daycares, but under section 7 with a home business, it mentions no storage outside of anything, and that wouldn't apply to swing sets and toy things and...
No, that intent is so that if someone, for example, had some sort of a woodworking business that they were running from their home, that they wouldn't have lots of lumber or raw wood outside store.
Thank you.
Yep.
Gary, just for clarification, moving things forward, what is the town's, public hearing, site walk? We've never done them for daycares before.
We'll defer to town planner and the board, that's your choice.
Okay.
Leave that up to you.
All right. So for the board, I'll open it up for questions from the board.
On the application, it's Lacey Wakefield, but on the warrant, it's Lacey Bouillard. Is that a typo?
No, I got married.
Okay.
Yeah, the deeds don't transfer names once the
And then
females
Leslie
change, the
Wakefield.
males change.
Yeah, I married
Okay.
her.
Yeah. And it is in the system now as Wakefield, not Bullard.
Judy, do you have any questions?
No,
Katie?
No.
Judy?
As long as it's fenced, sounds like it is. I don't,
Or will be?
will be, yeah.
Well, the state has.
Yeah, the state came out and they looked at it and they came and walked in the building, they walked on the outside. It's a downhill sloping, so they said there was a certain area where they wanted a fence and we put it up and they just need to come back and check it.
is that the picture that you have given us?
Yeah.
Okay.
And everything goes through CEO, so.
Yeah. And then it gets, I believe also the fire department don't they get notified?
The fire marshal needs to
Yeah.
come through after it goes through the state, they send them out.
Okay.
Public hearing?
We've never done one before.
No,
What's the board's thought on that? I mean,
Well,
no.
What's that, Judy?
I don't think we need a public hearing. We've never done it before, that I know of.
right. The notice have all been your butters have all been notified.
Yep.
And, as long as they have no
I guess I'll
problems.
ask a question of our selectman representative.
Your call.
Okay. I mean, I think we look at it as, and we've always looked at it before, as like, it's an in-home business. If butters know about it and they haven't said anything, then
Correct.
we've gone forward with it.
And it's a state
Yeah,
matter.
they watch everything on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Mr. Chair, just so that you know, her parcel of property is quite large, so there is a lot of area for the children to play, which would mean the noise would be kept down to the abutters and the nearby homes.
Okay.
It's not gonna be where it's close to other homes. There is going to be some areas so the children can have some fun.
Did the state say how large your fenced-in area has to be?
No, it's about a quarter of an acre, the area. No, they just said where for safety purposes they would like to see it. So we just
Okay.
complied with what they said.
So you're waiting for them to come back?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's move forward.
Okay.
I
Good.
think we're okay with it.
Somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion that we pass this application.
All right, I have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Jody seconds. Having a motion and a second, is there any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor? So be it. You gotta see Tammy to get all your paperwork. Okay, moving on. I'm gonna hold off the minutes. It's not why everybody's here. Municipal salt and sand shed is up next. Owen?
If I can go back up there, because I need my graphics. Sorry, Rob, I'm taking you down.
Oh, that's recording.
At the last I'm sorry. During the last meeting, one of the questions, there were a couple of questions that the board had asked around groundwater elevations, distance to Bartlett Stream, and some additional topographical information. So what we've done is there's two plans we've created. One is this plan, and I've got a better blow-up later of it, but we have topography of the parcel now down to the wetland area and the stream. The wetland is basically flat because it's all a wetland down through there. And then the stream is on the plan here. The proposed sand and salt shed is here. The transfer station is here. The existing town gravel pit is in this location. And the current public works building is here. What we did was we drew a cross section like a piece of pie, right? A section right through the building and through the site all the way down to the brook, which is this plan. So the salt shed, I know it looks like a pinnacle, but it's because of the scale. We have to exaggerate the scale in the Y direction so that you can see it. Otherwise, it's just a thin line. So this is a salt shed location here. This line, yellow line through here, represents the existing ground topography. Here's the brook here. It's about 1,350 feet from the sand and salt shed all the way down to the brook. This is wetland here. There's kind of a rise, another piece of wetland here. Then this is an embankment that comes up. In the pit, you can kind of see that it's a dip. That's where the existing pit is. And the last meeting we had a talk about internally drained, and I think this graphic may help explain it a little bit more. What it means is all the runoff from the transfer station, all the runoff from the existing public works building and the proposed sand and salt sheds goes down into this sump here, which is the old gravel pit, and it all stays in there. There's no way for it to run overland down to the brook. And that's what internally drained means. It goes in here, it stays in here, and then it naturally infiltrates back into the soil, so there's no direct runoff down into the pit or down towards the stream. This next line, and I probably should have used a different highlighter, but I'll point my finger. This is approximate groundwater elevation. Ransom Environmental, who did that big report that's floating around here someplace, did a groundwater contour map through this area here. We had historic groundwater elevations when the gravel pit went in for the town. So we could interpolate the groundwater elevation through here, and then it bleeds out into Bartlett Brook. So this is the groundwater elevation here. Our sand and salt shed, the bottom of the footing will be above the groundwater, so we won't be getting into the groundwater. And the bottom of the pit right here is above the groundwater, which the town has to do anyway because it has a DEP permit that says you have to stay above the groundwater elevation. So this cross-section kind of shows all of that.
What's your delta Y between the sand shed and Bartlett Brook?
Bartlett Brook is about elevation 273. The finished floor, the sand or the top of the foundation wall and the sand and salt shed's 325. So there's basically 50 feet of elevation change.
You're right. That is, if you scale it the other way, there's no pitch. All right. So the other thing we asked for also was like just a full scale, plot showing the stream relationship.
Yeah, that was what I did is this plan here. This is a composite plan that shows the property the town owns, which goes all the way down to here. This is the holdings of the town. Shows where the sand and salt building is. Shows where all the other improvements are. All the topography. Shows the edge of the wetlands, the brook, and then the cross section that went all the way through it. So this is just a composite plan of everything.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, also if you want, although because it's on 8.5 by 11, there is an aerial photo on here that actually shows where the salt shed would be in relation to where Bartlett Brook is. If it is any help to you, I can certainly pass this down for you. It'll give you some scale idea of distance.
I can make some.
1,300
No, I think
feet
it's
salt shed to
And that should be in the, you've got the report anyway.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Okay, good.
the
So, yeah, here's the mapping of Bartlett Brook, Bennett Hill Road.
3% grade. So it's roughly a 4% grade from the sand shed to the stream.
Yeah, if you drew a straight line, I suppose, I didn't run the numbers, but it, ran a straight line down, sure.
Okay.
Hopefully that was helpful.
I did see we got the summary from DEP, and one of the things that had been requested was a stormwater management plan, but the DEP is requiring one to be submitted to them.
A soil management plan?
Soil and groundwater management plan and health and safety plan must be prepared and submitted to the department, outlining the soil and groundwater management procedures.
Yes, before we do any construction or excavation on the site, we need to prepare a soil and groundwater management plan. And basically what it is it identifies procedures that gets handed to the contractor, which is going to be the town, I believe, doing the excavation on it. But that will be filed to the town. We did prepare draft deed covenants. I think I don't know if the attorney has reviewed those yet from the
They're
town.
in process, yes.
And there was something else I gave you too that went on to the attorney. Maybe it was just those deed covenants. Because we do have to put deed covenants in place for the property based on the VRAP. So
Is that for accessing the wells?
no, it's basically it says that it recognizes that this was a former tannery lagoon and that there are certain environmental considerations. I think there's some restrictions that this property can only be commercial use. I couldn't, sell off a lot and turn it into a house or put another drinking water well, within this area of the tannery lagoon. So that goes on public record and has to be recorded in the registry of deeds. We haven't done that yet because the town's attorney needs to review it and approve it.
Yeah, there was another one in there too, that it can't be occupied. It can only be intermittently occupied.
Yes.
8-hour day kind of thing.
And all of that's in the draft document that's gone to the town's attorney.
Open it up to the board. Judy?
No, no problem.
Dwayne?
I'm good.
Katie? Judy? Lisa?
The only other thing I'd add, and I think it's a very important and interesting piece of information that I think is helpful, is the understanding of the fact that we have the information in this report that by capping the lagoons as they're proposing to do, it is going to severely slow any migration of any of the materials from there, liquefied materials that come out of there. And there's a diagram in here that shows what Ransom has diagrammed as to the extent of which there's been any migration of that material. And I think that in relation to the length of time that those lagoons have been there, and you can see how short of a distance that material has migrated, that, the salt, any issues or concerns that there would have been previously about salt migration into the brook, you see that it would be forever before anything would occur like that. Oh, thanks. Yeah, thanks so much. So I'll pass it down, but you can see the red underneath. That's what they've identified as the migration from the lagoons to any place in the pit. And you can see that it's not traveled much further than just beyond the proposed salt shed itself.
Excuse me, Lee J, could I get a copy of that picture at some point, please?
Certainly, you can have this whole document back. And it's in the document.
All right, so we do have 4 waivers requested by the town. Hydrological study, stormwater management, which it's not the same as groundwater, nitrate study, and provisions for the transportation, disposal, and storage of hazardous wastes. We'll address each waiver by itself before going in, before moving on. The hydrogeological study on that. Just only because I haven't read that, Owen, is it even addressed?
Well, yeah, we requested, usually a hydrogeological study is related around if there's a use that might be septic systems or some sort of maybe you're building a big gravel pit or you're doing something that will affect the hydrogeology of it. And I would almost say that big document is your hydrogeological study. So it may be, if the board determines that suffice, probably don't even need to ask for a waiver on it. And after I thought about that, after I printed it off and put it all together and mailed it off to the town, I thought, good grief, we kind of really already have all of that. Because they ran these transects all the way down, and the DEP did, a Ransom Environmental did, and they basically analyzed the entire site, everything from groundwater movement to plumes and concentrations and everything. So if the board felt that sufficed, I don't know what else you would do for a hydrogeo study. That I probably don't even need to ask for that waiver. We kind of have it.
Yeah, I would concur with him on that. Absolutely. This is very. If you have a chance to thumb through it, it'll just make your head spin with the amount of information that's in here. So,
Lee J, what's the name of that? I'm sorry.
This is remedial investigation of the patent lagoons, Waterboro patent lagoons, and it was completed by Ransom Consulting of Portland, and it was prepared for the DEP.
Ransom for DEP. Okay.
Do we need a motion on that, or should we?
Yeah, we do a motion on each one.
I would make the motion that in place of a hydrogeological study, that we accept whatever that is.
The remedial investigation.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Say that 10 times.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Brian seconds. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? So that waiver's, I guess, granted. Not really, but. Stormwater management plan. The DEP is going to require a groundwater management plan, but the stormwater, what you're showing here is that even in a torrential flood, it's really going to be contained on site.
It is. The cross-section was helpful to look at, so I appreciate going through that exercise.
Any thoughts?
No.
Make a motion to accept the stormwater management plan waiver.
I'll
I'll
second that.
second it.
I have Judy seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? So be it. Nitrate study, there's not gonna be septic on site, so
No,
the
there's
nitrate
no.
study is moot.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we accept that.
Judy makes a motion, I'll
Nitrate
second
study.
that. Is there any discussion? No? All those in favor? That waiver's granted. Provisions for the transportation, disposal, and storage of hazardous waste. There's not going to be hazardous waste, it's hazardous materials. So, is there any discussion or any motion for that?
I make a motion to accept.
Okay, we have a motion to accept that waiver. Is there a second? Judy seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, so all 4 waivers, well, 3 waivers are approved.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, who seconded, which Judy?
Judy.
Okay, thank you.
Which Judy?
Judy, that's Judy.
Judy number 2.
Judy left.
That's right. Judy, why?
Okay.
My mom's name's Judy. I feel like I should call her on the way home or something.
All right, we've been through the waivers.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, I have notifications of the abutters for Sebago Technics,
Okay.
copies of them.
And they're all butters.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There were 2, I believe, in their group that did not come and sign for them. So I have a copy of the letter that was returned from the post office and everything.
But they were submitted.
They were submitted, yes, they were.
All right. We basically have 15 things that have to be approved for site plan review. We'll just go through them one by one. The proposed use meets the definitions or requirements set forth in the zoning ordinance. It's permitted that
Yes.
the proposed use will not create fire safety hazards by not providing adequate access to the site for emergency vehicles, adequate dry hydrants, or adequate access to off-site dry hydrants. Sort of be moot if vehicles couldn't get to it. The proposed exterior lighting will not create hazards to motorists traveling or adjacent public streets.
No.
There's more to it, but I mean, you get the gist of it. The provisions for buffers and on-site landscaping provides adequate protection to neighboring properties from detrimental features of the development. Where that is, Owen, is, I mean, in the event that there is a neighbor, that's pretty central, right?
It is, actually. Let me turn this plan around. This one shows. So this is where we're at. So the town owns all of this land. So we're, I don't know, this is, let's see, it's like 700 or 800 feet. We're probably 1,000 feet to the next to property. And then Bennett Hill Road's right here. It's wooded through here, besides the 2 accesses that come in. And actually, the transfer station's the closest to the road.
So even in the future, that still wouldn't create something.
Yeah, that would change.
Proposed use will not have a significant detrimental effect on the use and peaceful enjoyment of abutting property, result of noise, vibration, fumes, odor, dust, glare, or other causes. I'm not even sure we want to open that one up. But right now it is a dump. There is already a sand shed there. I mean, there's a sand pile there.
Transfer station.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Transfer.
Station. There's a recycling facility and transfer station there. So I'm not sure. We're not creating anything new.
No.
Provisions for vehicle loading and unloading parking of vehicle or pedestrian circulation on the site and on the adjacent public streets will not create hazards. There's adequate space on site. The bulk location, height, or design of proposed building structures or paved areas of the proposed uses thereof will not have significant detrimental effect on private development or adjacent properties. That's what you just showed. The design of the site will not result in significant flood hazards or flood damages in conformance with applicable flood hazard protection requirements, or stormwater detention ponds are not adequate. And you've demonstrated that everything's going to be contained on site.
Yes.
Okay. Adequate provisions will be made for the disposal of wastewater or solid waste, or for the prevention of ground or surface water contamination. Sort of sounds like we're already in a brownfield, so.
Very much. And the goal of this project is actually to move this sand and salt pile that's been outside for the last 25 years and put it under cover instead of being outside, and also cap the lagoons, so that the hope is, and I think you could make a pretty good case that that will certainly be a better situation than what's out there now.
Adequate provisions are made to control erosion or sedimentation. There's an apron around the building that leads to basically a central culvert
There is.
system. Adequate provisions are made to handle stormwater runoff or other drainage problems on site. That's been demonstrated. The proposed water supply will meet the demands of the proposed use. There is no water supply. Adequate provisions have been made for the transportation, storage, and disposal of hazardous substances and hazardous as defined by the state law and Waterboro hazardous waste ordinance. I guess you're spreading the salt all over the streets anyway, so. The proposed use will not have an adverse effect on significant scenic vistas or on significant wildlife habitat, which could be avoided by reasonable modification of the plan. Like I said, it's already a transfer station there, so not that the transfer station isn't beautiful.
There's no seagulls in the transfer.
The project will not increase nitrogen concentrations in surface or groundwater at the property line of the site in excess of the state and main drinking water standards. There's no septic on site. If groundwater contains contaminations in excess of the primary drinking water standards and the project is to be served by on-site groundwater supplies, the applicant shall be demonstrated how water quality can be approved. There's not going to be water supplies. So that's the requirements we have to do for approval. That being said, any more discussion from the board? Is anybody for a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. To approve the
Yep.
application estimate. I have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Judy seconds.
Judy won.
Judy Wright.
Judy Wright.
Judy won.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion?
No.
Vote? All those in favor? Vote passed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for bearing with us on it.
It's a good discussion. Thank you.
All right,
Brings us to
Avid Investments, Brooks Dance Center. Last week's. Keep on the notes in my file. Okay, Rob, you're back up again. I think the biggest thing we have is where we do have an abutter that's has some concerns. I think you're talking about, the big thing is light, basically dark sky. I think you just, in the opening for the public hearing, you address using bollards, which is going to be pretty much a dark sky, and cutoff lighting. As long as they meet the dark sky requirement, they should be. I mean, there's going to be glare from it, obviously, but they're not.
If I can address those concerns slightly, during the site walk, it was mentioned that there was a potential issue with that. So we kind of stood in this area and looked over towards their property, and from the building itself, you cannot see directly their house because of the wooded vegetation that's going to remain right now. Along the sidewalk will be where our bollard lighting is. It's only going to be about knee high or a little bit more, and it shines directly down. And then the building, of course, will have the wall packs, and those will shine basically directly down. And I think even during the winter time, you're not going to get a direct glare through this vegetation. You might see something, but it won't be a direct thing. As far as cars coming out, we looked at that too. As the cars turn right here, it kind of shines towards their house, but there is a power pole that has some vegetation there that's going to offset some of it. If they planted some nice arborvitaes there, it would totally disperse anything there. But the main lights that would be from the headlights are right past and not near their building at all. So anybody sitting right here, their headlights are going to be directly across, whereas the house is over in
I
this
thought
area.
it looked like it was going right into their bedroom
Well, it sure
windows.
did.
Not if
On
the
the
car is
first
sitting
floor.
right here. As the car turns from here to here, the stream of lights will go across their property. But cars that are sitting here or cars that are sitting here, the light will not shine directly at their residence.
The actual lighting that you're putting in isn't an issue at all because nothing is shining out.
Yeah.
What about sign lighting?
We do have a sign here, and this will have you typically up lighting towards the sign, so it will not be directly against any traffic or towards any residents or anything like that.
Is there any possibility of doing a timer on it that, you know, at a certain point at night it shuts off?
For the sign lighting, I'm sure that that's not an issue at all. Of course, the lighting on the building, we talked about that out there, it's security lighting, but I'm sure that there would be no problem with lighting on the sign. As we discussed, it'd be about 9 o'clock is the latest class. During the winter time, of course, that's going to be dark. During the summertime, you know, still pretty light out during that time.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I have the notifications on the abutters and the letter from the abutter
Okay.
concern.
Thank you, ma'am.
I know on other applications, including the recent one, we've asked the applicant if there is issues with lights to provide an offset for the buffer on the neighbor. It's basically creating the hardship too. Basically, if you guys would work with the neighbor to, you know, fence or arborvitae's on their property. We've done that with several applications, including a recent one.
Because the only real problem, that the concern, I should say the concern is when you pull out of the parking lot and you go right, that's when the headlights are gonna cross the guy's house. So that's what we're talking about. Maybe there's something we can do to help the neighbors.
We'll have to consider, I guess. I thought Route 202 was a major state road.
We did it. We've done it with Duncan, we've done it with Dollar, with the campground. We've talked to them about, you know, basically cutting lights.
Cutting lights. Is there a connection across the street from Duncan's?
The Duncans put the berm up with the shrubs on top of the berm to prevent shining across.
Where the driveway comes out?
That doesn't line up with his house, I don't think.
And the house is off to the right
Yeah.
of the driveway.
The big thing was the drive-through on Duncan's was right into their house, so that's why the berm was put up for that.
And none of the, like I had pointed out, none of the lanes, when you're sitting there, of course, as the car travels across, you'll get some, but it's not gonna be direct, and they're pretty far off the road. I would assume that nobody's coming to that roadway with high beams on, the amount of light that's there, so.
Yeah, I wish we had looked at that driveway and
Well,
their house a little bit closer.
we'll discuss it with them.
Thank you.
We'll discuss it.
I'd say we appreciate the fact that you're willing to look into a timer on that, your sign light on the street. That's very nice, so
Yep,
we're heading in the right direction with that.
yep.
Does the board have any questions, concerns?
No, there's no solution, right?
Well, I mean, the only thing I think of is that, you know, like I said, on the last couple of applications, it's been an issue about light shining into other people's houses, and we've, you know, it's been a consideration that the applicant basically pays for a screen or fence.
Couple of
Which
plants,
is-
It
shrubs,
just
some
makes for
trees.
better neighbors.
Are you gonna leave that empty place in the, well, I call it the green
In front of the
belt?
building, yes,
Yeah.
that will be
'Cause
there.
I would be concerned about their house.
Yeah.
Lights coming in and
Where the
out.
septic system is
Yeah,
going to
but
be, right?
the cars will not be really turning that way. They're gonna be going up along and backing out and then coming the other way, so you don't get the headlight really going out through that opening. And we need that opening, the septic field's gonna be over in that area. But we will certainly talk with the neighbors and have a discussion and see how we can make it a better situation.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Is that a common driveway for other lots that may be used in the future?
there's a potential in the future for other traffic to use that location. And that's kind of why it was permitted at that location by the Maine Department of Transportation. It was the best location in their eyes.
I think, that being said, the provision to cut off lighting to the neighbor, it becomes more important.
Yes.
Yes.
As that becomes more and more developed, you know, the potential for more and more in, it's a fairly low-cost
Yeah.
solution to their
And
issue.
we'll meet with them and have a discussion and see how we can
Cool.
lessen the impact.
Okay.
I guess that's the only condition we have for this.
Yeah, there's no waivers requested.
The only condition that we have for this is that the.
Well, actually, there is waivers, I'm sorry, there's 3 waivers. We have to,
There's 3 waivers. I'll talk conditions when we get to it.
okay. We'll do it, the same thing again, we'll do each waiver, take one on its own. First one is hydrogeological study. I guess it's a minor impact into the site. It's already been, most of the clearing and other work has already been done on it.
Correct, and like Owens had said, typically what you're looking for is something that's going to impact the water table, like a large pollutant source, like a very large septic system, or if you're doing some type of excavation or something that will tend to lower the water table and whatnot, and we're really not lowering the grade there.
Okay, is there board's consideration on the waiver, the hydrogeological waiver?
Can I make a motion to
Accept
accept?
the waiver?
Okay. Judy, you want a second?
Yes.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? So hydrogeological is waived. Second one is hazardous waste. It's a dance facility. Hazardous waste is limited to
Cleaning supplies.
cleaning supply, post-cleaning supplies.
I'll make a motion that we accept the waiver for hazardous waste.
I'll second that.
Judy
I'll
seconds.
second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor? That's passed. And the last one is a nitrate study. The septic system is 400 gallons per day?
It's less than a residential house, so it's less than 270, I think it's 240 or 230 or something.
So small septic system on a large lot.
I
Okay.
say we accept it,
Motion and a second.
approve the waiver.
I'll second it.
20 seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, so all the waivers are complete. Lee J, you want to go over conditions?
Yep, sure. There's only 2 that I have heard or that you have concerns about. Certainly one is the sign lighting. So I would suggest wording that would suggest the sign lighting be placed on a timer with a shut-off time of 10 p.m. I believe last classes were done at 9, and that would give them enough time to clear out of there and be gone for the evening. And the second one is that the applicant meet with and discuss potential vegetation screening on the frontage of the site. It's for lot 48C and F. And report back to the planning board. I think we just need, even if it's a short letter from Rob indicating that they've met and that they've agreed to do whatever.
And, I mean, obviously, from your guys' point of view, there's, you're not expected to replant the whole
No.
northwest.
What we're looking at
There's
is whatever the impact from how we can disperse it, lessen it, and whatnot.
I don't think we need to set a dollar limit like we did on the other one.
No.
All right. That's good.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
All right. Anybody?
We're good. I'll make the motion.
Okay. So,
We have a motion to pass this application with those conditions.
does that work for you, Tam?
I'll be able to, I can write them up tomorrow and email them back to Tina.
I'll second it then.
Judy seconds. I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. So everybody else is sticking around for the minutes then?
So often we see new faces. Is there something else while you're here?
Speed it up? That's not, it's paved now, it's a runway.
Route 5 as well. You ever see them look down past my place?
Oh, in our place, oh.
That's me.
I know. I've seen you on your bike.
I don't like
You're on a bike? No, that's why I see you come down one hand or so.
No.
No, really?
I'm anti-bike.
Oh, yeah. I'm not into bike, I just not riding.
Yeah, when you're behind someone, yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
I'm just gonna wait for, I'm just gonna wait for everybody to move out.
Okay.
We're gonna make this real quick.
My brother-in-law and sister-in-law used to sit on the porch.
I'm gonna throw out
And they used to play a game, just one would take north and the other would take south. And they, like for 10 minutes, and then have a contest to see who would get more cars. The one going north
We're
or
gonna
south.
have it better next year.
Now you go.
Instead of going through this, I'm gonna put out 3 bases.
Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting back to order again. We have minute meetings. We have long meetings with minutes. September 2nd.
Design standards, they're coming up. I was just following. We're gonna do a little bit of something with design standards.
Tonight?
Yeah, if we could, if the board will let me bring this up.
September 2nd minutes?
Yes.
Is that where we are?
Yes.
I would make a motion that we accept.
I second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? You're okay? All right, so all those in favor? September 2nd meeting is approved. Highway entrance ordinance effective July 23rd is under communication. The selectmen signed off on that, so that's, we just gotta get it into our books.
Exactly, Mr. Chair. If you need it hole punched, I can hole punch it. If you need additional pages to slide it into, I do have those. You just need to let me know what I need to.
Where do we stick this in our,
In your big book? Yeah.
In your ordinance.
Side tab for the highway entrance ordinance. It's gonna replace.
Or it just
Is
goes.
that in this
it's gonna
mess?
replace,
Yes.
It's in there already.
all right, I looked tonight, but I wasn't looking at the right
One
thing.
page.
Oh,
It's
okay.
here somewhere.
Geez, I actually don't even have it in mind.
It's here
Oh, yes, I do.
somewhere. I'll find it.
I have it as the last time we made a change.
All
Okay.
right.
I am working with Christina to attempt to get an application to go with that new highway entrance permit.
Okay.
That's the one thing we don't have is
She had
an
it up
application
there.
yet. So we are working to get that.
That's
So
not-
based
I didn't
on-
hear
Put
all of
that
it.
up there.
I'm working with Christina.
It was in our packet
to get
last
an
time.
application for that
Okay.
ordinance.
We've
No,
got such a
okay.
mess here.
Because they're supposed to fill one out, bring
I'll
it
find
in,
it.
to get the
I'm
driveway.
sure
All
it's
right.
here.
I can
No,
give you one.
Here.
All right,
Right there.
Here.
it's
Okay.
just a stop sign
It's here.
conversation for a second.
See, all over your ordinance.
It was
That's
brought
why it's
up,
there.
it was brought up at
Give
a
me
comprehensive
more
plan
papers.
meeting that the planning board is negligent on design standards.
Well, not, it wasn't, they were just
On
asking.
design
They were asking us
standards?
to move something forward to the board of selectmen.
So if I
Alright.
may, Mr. Chairman, because I had not heard about that till earlier this evening, you actually have in front of you, it's a blank front page, it says draft. As you recall, we had been working on some design standards or design guidelines previously, and I talked to Tammy today and said, geez, we really need to get that back on the agenda and get it moving. And so, unbeknownst to me that this conversation had occurred, certainly Dwayne had a side conversation with me one-on-one, and I think he wants to have some additional conversation with the board, but I did put what I had as a, not a final draft, but a next draft, based on our last meeting two months ago maybe at this point, to try and get this back on the agenda and moving. So with that, I'll just let
All right.
Dwayne.
Going through this, there's a few things that I don't agree with, so I'd like a little more time to work on. There's a lot of good stuff in here. At this point, there's 3 things I know that we've agreed upon before. No visible flat roofs, meaning we're not telling them they have to build a building with a peak roof, they just have to have something on the front, strictly aesthetic, so it's not a flat roof. No visible equipment on the roof.
We said from 3 sides.
3 sides.
Correct. All right, no, and any equipment or trash containers have to be surrounded by bushes or shrubs.
We said
Not the
vegetation, but it says vegetation or stockade fencing. Which do you suppose they're going to choose?
I
I would, that's not necessarily for them to choose. It's options for you to provide, to them. Just so that, I mean, in some cases, vegetation may not work.
Right, I understand, but
And if
they
the
shouldn't be
ordinance
given
only
the,
says
they shouldn't be given
vegetation.
the option.
Correct. I just wonder if we should strike the word stockade.
I
Fencing.
agree.
So, okay, keep going. Keep going.
Do we have, did you see it in there? the
Yes,
three
you
sides
can
for
have
equipment?
this.
What's that?
No, I think that's,
So three sides for equipment.
no, I think that's, I haven't had it, I just been
I
through the first
don't know
couple
that
pages.
it's in there, but it's
What's
supposed
What's
to
that?
be.
What
What's
I'm-
that?
Is this the three sides?
Yes, that's
Visible.
near the back. There's a
Okay.
piece on it that talks about 3 sides of the roof line being screened so that the HVAC mechanisms
Any-
are hidden from
any
public
equipment they may have up there.
roadway.
Right.
I have a question.
Yes.
If we're going to say that there are no flat roofs apparent, does that mean somebody can build a flat roof and put a cornice on the top?
Yes.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
You'll see that a lot of
Is
times.
that
See if I
going to
can
be pleasing?
see if I can.
Aesthetically, when you
That's-
drive by, that's what you'll see is,
Go to Farmington.
Like our-
Look-
For example, this would be like a full mansard roof. So the building is down here, and certainly. But here's the roof itself, and then what they do is they build up a full mansard so that it looks like a fake roof, but all the mechanical is sitting down in here, hidden behind. So they need to have a flat roof.
Oh,
But
I
what
I
you
under-
see
yeah.
is you see this. You don't see this.
well, looking at the front of a building.
What did you say, Judy, when,
Nothing. I just said, go to Farmington. Every house on the main street is like that.
Fine.
In Farmington?
Interesting.
Yes.
Just-
No, they've got a facade
Right.
on the front. I mean,
and so that's okay?
it looks,
that's what we're
yeah, it
saying.
looks fine.
Okay.
You'd never know it
Well,
from looking at the building until you get from the side.
Right.
of
I
it.
guess
Oh,
I guess I haven't noticed his construction,
Yeah,
they
it's,
all
uh,
know. So
and we're
that
talking-
should answer my question.
And we're also talking about trying to be
Or
business
fencing?
friendly. Which
Yes.
If we made them build every building with a peaked roof, we're
No,
talking an
no,
extra
I
10 or
understand that.
20, 30 grand.
You know, you go back to
So-
like Little House on the Prairie, you know, the main street, those are
Yeah.
all false front
Farmington
buildings.
is just like that.
Yeah, and it's, you know, the turn of the century, that was
thing
really
that
popular, the
sticks
turn of
up
the
and
century.
Right.
So it,
Like the saloons.
Lee's restaurant is the same
Okay,
thing. It's got
that's
a
fine,
fake
that's fine.
false front on it. So
Backing off.
All right, so we have
Fencing,
three
should
things
we
that-
say screening fencing, maybe? Would that be a better term?
screening fencing for,
Well, like dumpsters or something like that, rather than
I was gonna ask
stockade.
you, I like the idea of bushes and shrubs.
Well, yeah, but it may not work. And
Okay, well, then maybe we should add in what Judy's suggesting, putting screening or fencing or.
if we just say it's screening and fencing,
Yeah.
screening or fencing,
these are
and or,
these are guidelines, right?
you're right,
They're not
they're not standards.
mandates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
At the
oh,
very,
no, this is
13B
this is not on the agenda.
at the very
Oh, I'm
end.
sorry.
So, just so that I can keep this straight for you folks and for myself, all you want to see coming forward is 13, section 13.
Just change it to and or fencing.
Yep. Section 12, which talks about roof lines and parking being placed on the rear side of the buildings, and parking lots shall be landscaped.
Well, parking should be. Well, here's the thing.
I just want to make sure that if you don't want a full-blown design guideline document, that if you only want to address those 3 things, that they could be pulled out and actually placed in the ordinance in various locations.
I guess the question,
Because a design guideline, basically these are pretty thin. A design guideline is a book.
Yeah.
And it's got
Yeah.
all kinds of different design options.
Right.
If we're talking like 2 or 3 things here, then we're talking about taking that and sliding it into the ordinance.
all right, my thinking is these 3 things that we're discussing,
Yep.
I'd like to hear from the selectmen whether they want to make them, not guidelines, but what's the term?
Standards.
Thank you.
Standards.
Let's
Yes.
start with that, because I think that we could afford to have a few easy-going standards and then have guidelines. But I think that's a decision the Board of Selectmen
I
should
think
make.
we've already been down that road, dude. We're gonna propose to the selectmen that we're gonna do just standards. I mean,
Just standards? Is
just-
that,
Just
Guide-
lines.
guidelines, I'm sorry, just guidelines.
is that how the
Yeah.
board feels?
I thought
All
that's
right,
what
then.
we-
Yeah,
All right.
Because if you do standards, then
There's
you're gonna
no
have a
way.
lot of people there.
And guidelines do not need to go for public hearing or public approval. If you want to adopt them as a guideline, then they're just something that a developer's going to get and say, this is what we're recommending that you follow. Understand, though, that if it's just a guideline,
They don't
that you
have to do
cannot make them do anything.
Along comes another steel building.
You what?
Along comes another steel building.
Yeah.
So, my point is, I'd like to just propose to the selectmen whether they'd like to make them standards or guidelines, just these three basic things for now.
I'm
this one to me is another one.
Yeah, I'm not ready to, I'm not comfortable on those, just those three things. I think, I mean, if there's concern that the selectmen think that we're not doing anything, then we just send a communication to them saying that we're working on it. I'm not,
That's already come up, and we've been working on it for a long time. And
We've been
what
working on it
happened
for-
was we got busy with other applications, and we took the priority of these people that are bringing in our tax base. We moved them forward, just like the dance studio. The salt shed was huge. You know, we got a new business in town, the daycare center, and slowly but surely, this slipped to the back of the pile.
I think
So-
we're moving faster than the selectmen move, so.
I think we were
Anyhow,
gonna have a,
I didn't see-
thing on
I didn't
October
see-
5th, weren't we?
I'm sorry?
We were
I
gonna
think
have
so,
like a
too.
workshop on October 5th on
I'm
this.
not ready to do this
No.
right now at all.
All right.
Not either.
There we go.
I'm sorry, it's,
Gary?
May I?
Yes.
First of all, defense of Mr. Prescott, the word delinquent was not used last night at the meeting.
No.
And most of the.
No, that was my word, I'm sorry, that wasn't
Right.
his.
But most of the, Don Holden was here from the Economic Development Committee, and he raised the issue, and we're just curious, he doesn't know how deep you can get in the weeds on this and be bogged down. So he was the one that was pushing the envelope.
Who was that?
Gary, that's not quite right. It was Selectman Gale that was pushing the subject.
He did also, but it certainly wasn't to the point of using the word.
No,
Using the word.
no, they just
And if you want to
thought,
have a joint workshop and beat this out, I'd say I'm all for it.
Yes, I'm worried, I think we need to get something on the books, and I'm not saying, but I think we need to get it on right. We've heard from both sides that we shouldn't have it and we should have it. I think what Lee J's proposed is actually pretty decent, we just need to tweak it. That's my opinion on it.
I'll tell you what, why don't we do this? Everybody take this home.
Well, we already set for October
I've
5th.
already.
All right.
We're already gonna workshop
It's
that.
October 5th,
That's what I
we're gonna
thought.
do something with this.
Is
We
it-
come,
So, excuse me, the workshop you're talking about, is it October 5th? October 7th is your first planning board meeting.
Oh, the 7th then, I'm
October
sorry.
7th,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, we could definitely invite, is it the comprehensive committee that's who that was last night?
It was the Board of Selectmen having a meeting about all the comprehensive plans.
Right.
Oh, okay, all right.
All the 150.
which is what brought up the subject, because we're looking at the development of the town and where we're going.
I think we ought to hash this out amongst ourselves and
Agreed.
then go out for more opinion. You know, like we don't even know what we want yet.
I agree.
I mean, I guess,
We
I know what I
haven't-
want.
I guess, Tammy, we could send a letter, I can sign it, just saying, we can send it out to town boards, saying that the planning board is working on a set of design standards or guidelines. We're holding a workshop on it, that we'll have a draft, after October 5th, we'll have a draft version available, 7th, I'm sorry, version available, and it is in process. I think that's communication. We get it out to everybody. Everybody knows it. I mean, does that work, Gary?
Yeah, you want to invite all the selectmen to come on the 7th?
Yeah, I mean, it's an invited, but not you don't have to attend type of thing.
I personally think we need to get something more concrete
I agree.
before we start inviting others.
I agree with Judy, and
Because I don't
that's
think
what was
we-
asked of us, actually, for us to make a plan.
Well, and just as an aside, I guess in my own defense, We started this process a while ago, and I showed you lots of pictures, and I've provided you several different ordinances from other communities. And I think what we have, at least in draft form, is what I generally heard from this board they wanted. It was not something overly complicated. It was something more watered down. It was something that was not necessarily an ordinance, but guidelines. And so that's where we're at today. I can certainly go back and provide more ordinances or more documents. But I think the one thing to understand, and I think we all understand it, it's just being reminded of it, that when we come up with a set of design guidelines, they certainly provide an applicant some guidance in what we want to see in the town. But the end result is in the eye of the beholder. Mm-hmm. And what's nice to Judy is maybe not appealing to me. And we can put as many diagrams together as we want. We can put as many requirements as we want. But they're still going to come up with something that one person is going to say, that is an awesome building, and someone else is going to say, that is ugly. So
beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Right, absolutely. So I think what we need to do is get to a point where we say, okay, this is the level of information that we want to provide to a developer so that we're not getting a square, flat metal building. And I think, generally speaking, what you have in front of you does that. The flip side of it is you're never going to know until we put it into place and the real world tests it. Yeah. And if the real world tests it and we see it doesn't work, then we need to tweak something. Yeah. But we can't keep tweaking or changing things until something comes forward and it doesn't work.
Okay.
So you're saying that you're going to redo this? No, you're not going to redo this. We're going to talk about it the 7th.
Yes.
I'll be in.
You're what?
Me and Lee J got this thing, we were going back and forth. He had stuff, I scratched out. That's the rolling jump.
Well, I got to scratch out.
So October 7th, everybody brings it with them.
Yeah.
Ready to go. Discuss that. And that way, if we send, I'll sign it, and that way we send it out. That way everybody knows that we're working on it, and they're definitely invited.
Yeah, let them come forward.
Yeah, if you got a concern or something. I mean, it's not a public hearing, it's just to town departments.
And I would suggest for a point of discussion purposes that Tammy could, certainly she's got a copy of what we've got and have it available, so if anybody comes to the door and says, I want to see what we have at least now as a discussion point, then it's available.
Okay. And I can...
Did you want to do something with bylaws?
Yeah, I'd love to get that put to bed. I think I heard from you folks that we were finally in good shape, but I need a vote from you simply because I need to move it on to the...
I didn't find anything that I didn't like in it, so...
Okay.
You guys ready to vote on bylaws?
We ready to do it?
Judy makes a motion to accept
I'll
the bylaws.
make a motion, we accept the 819 bylaws.
A second? I'll second it.
Okay.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you, Lee J, for putting those
Great.
together.
Thank you.
you
Yeah,
go.
I'm going to move them on to the
One thing done.
selectmen's meeting so that they have them. And
Now, what about the 7 board members and?
I left that alone. I think that's a bigger issue, and that's an issue that we either have to tackle through the charter or some other way. So I think that the board should continue to operate status quo and not really raise that as an issue.
But you did say that they voted. The extra 2 voted.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
that's
Correct.
really what the
Yeah.
issue was.
Yeah, and I think Natalie Burns was in the same camp. So I don't think we need to ruffle those feathers, and I think we just keep moving forward as we are until it changes.
All right.
If it changes.
The other thing we have in communications from Sebago Technics, September 21st at 6 p.m., Waterboro Townhall. We're going to have discussion about the Waterboro Water District. It includes comments and drafts on the Comprehensive System Facilities Plan, presentation of new water system computer model, discussion on the current status of the water system, And most importantly, discussion on the future direction of the water system. There was past members of the board that always brought it up that the independent water district that operates in the town of Waterboro, we don't know which way they go, and we're sort of held prisoner to them when they decide to go that way. So I think that's a pretty interesting thing, is what is the future direction for the water system? So that's on the 21st, which is a Wednesday. It actually is our
That's
meeting
Monday
night.
night.
No, it's Monday night.
Monday
Oh,
night.
I'm sorry, that's in October. Sorry. Already moving on. So that's Monday.
Who's having that meeting, the planning board meeting?
The water district is.
Where is it?
Here in Townhall.
Right here.
Right here?
Owen will be back again from Sebago.
He
Yeah.
forgot his
Sorry, we got a
plans.
meeting on the 23rd.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we have a half meeting.
That's right, on the
Just next
23rd.
Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday.
And right now, the only thing on the agenda for next Wednesday is Dan Albert,
Okay.
Yeah.
which is what it was set up for.
Right, I will not be here, so,
All right.
but Glenn will be.
Okay.
It's his project, and so you'll be fine.
Has there been any discussion?
I'm sorry?
Has there been any?
I believe Tammy is probably more in tune to that than I am, but I believe there has been some discussion
Okay.
back and forth on
Just
that.
so not to go any further.
Yeah,
into
no,
it.
it's not been stagnant as I understand it.
Okay. Carrie?
I had a question on whether it would be wonderful if at least one, if not several, planning board members were there for that water district meeting. I didn't know if anybody knew they could make it.
I'm actually planning on being there.
One, two.
I don't know.
I'm gonna. Yeah.
I
It
don't
should
know
be
my work's gonna
very
take
interesting to
time.
see what
I
they
wish
come
I
back
could
to.
come. Oh.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, it's been an issue we've always asked,
Yes,
and so now that's being offered.
with an engineer in charge.
Yeah, because we've had, the 2020 committee also has had
Yeah, and they will be there
several
too.
discussions with them.
And it'll be in this room.
Have discussions with them or about them?
With them. Yes, we,
Basically, where the next wellhead, they project to put it, and how they intend to expand.
Yep, stay in play, stay in the
Yeah.
district.
I understand that our tax base supports a third of it, whether you're on it or not.
This is for the hydrants, though, right?
No, that's for general upkeep and maintenance,
Oh,
right,
really?
Gary?
Well, the $42,000 we pay for hydrant rental is about that percentage of their budget,
Okay.
close to it,
We
But,
looked at it.
but it's listed as hydrant rental.
yes.
Okay. Any other new business?
We're good.
I'm good.
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Judy left?
yeah.
I make a
have
motion
Judy-
for adjourn, or unless Judy
Judy,
did.
right? You want to do Judy left? I have a motion to second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Meeting's